kindergartners. Yesterday we read this story, The Three Little Pigs, and it's such a cute story about these three pigs going and building their houses, and then the last house was strong enough to make sure to hold the wolf out, to make sure the wolf does not come in. Now, there are lots of different stories about the Three Little Pigs that a lot of people made. And so this one is different. This one says the Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig. So this story is a little bit different because instead of it having a three little pigs and a big bad wolf, it's three little wolves and a big bad pig. So let's see how this book is different. All right, this is written by Eugene Trivizas and Helen Oxenbury. All right, let's read this story. Once upon a time, there were three cuddly little wolves with soft fur and fluffy tails who lived with their mother. The first was black, the second was gray, and the third was white. One day, the mother called the three little pigs around her and said, "My children, it is time for you to go out into the world. Go and build a house for yourselves, but beware of the big bad pig." "Don't worry, Mother, we will watch out for him," said the three little wolves, and they set off. Soon they met a kangaroo who was pushing a wheelbarrow full of red and yellow bricks. "Please, will you give us some of your bricks?" asked the three little wolves. "Certainly," said the kangaroo, and she gave them lots of red and yellow bricks. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of bricks. The very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of bricks that the little wolves had built. The three little wolves were playing croquet in the garden when they saw the big bad pig coming. They ran inside the house and locked the door. The pig knocked on the door and grunted, little wolves, let me come in." No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we will not let you come in, not for all the tea leaves in our china pot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house did not fall down. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and fetched his sledgehammer and he knocked the house down. The three little wolves only just managed to escape before the bricks crumbled, and they were very frightened indeed. "We shall have to build a stronger house," they said. Just then they saw a beaver who was mixing concrete in a concrete mixer. "Please, will you give us some of your concrete?" asked the three little wolves. "Certainly," said the beaver, and he gave them buckets and buckets full of messy, slurry concrete. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of concrete. No sooner had they finished than the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of concrete that the three little wolves had built. They were playing battledore and shuttlecock in the garden, and when they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside their house and shut the door. The pig rang the bell and said, "Little frightened wolves, let me come in." No, 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 not by the hairs of our chinny chin chins will we let you come in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the big pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and fetched his pneumatic drill and smashed the house down. The three little wolves managed to escape by their chinny chin chins, were trembling and trembling and trembling. "We shall build an even stronger house," they said, because they were very determined. Just then they saw a truck coming along the road carrying barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal padlocks. "Please, will you give us some of your barbed wire, a few iron bars and armor plates, and some heavy metal padlocks?" they said to the rhinoceros who was driving the truck. "Sure," said the rhinoceros. He gave them plenty of barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal padlocks. He also gave them some plexiglass and some reinforced steel chains because he was a generous and kind-hearted rhinoceros. So the three little wolves built themselves an extremely strong house. It was the strongest, securest house one could possibly imagine, and they felt absolutely safe. The next day, the big bad pig came prowling along the road as usual. The three little wolves were playing hopscotch in the garden when they saw the big bad pig coming. They ran inside their house, bolted the door, and locked all 37 padlocks. The pig dialed the video entrance phone and said, "Little frightened wolves with trembling chins, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing, and he brought some dynamite, laid it against the house, lit the fuse, and the house blew up. The three little wolves just managed to escape with their fluffy tails scorched. "Something must be wrong with our building materials," they said. "We have to try something different." But what? At that moment, they saw Flamingo coming along, pushing a wheelbarrow full of flowers. "Please, will you give us some flowers?" asked the little wolves. "With pleasure," said the Flamingo, and he gave them lots of flowers. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of flowers. And one wall was of marigolds, one of daffodils, one of pink roses, and one of cherry blossoms. The ceiling was made of sunflowers, and the floor was a carpet of daisies. They had water lilies in their bathtubs and buttercups in their refrigerator. It was a rather fragile house, and it swayed in the wind, but it was so beautiful. Next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of flowers that the three little wolves had built, and he rang the doorbell at the door and said, "Little frightened wolves with the trembling chins and the scorched tails, let me come in." "Uh-oh." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. But as soon as he took a deep breath, ready to huff and puff, he smelled the soft scent of the flowers. It was fantastic. And because the scent was so lovely, the pig took another breath and then another. And instead of huffing and puffing, he began to sniff. He sniffed deeper and deeper until he was quite filled with the fragrant scent. His heart grew tender, and he realized how horrible he had been. Right then, he decided to become a big, good pig. And he started to sing and dance the tarantula. At first, the three little wolves were a bit worried. It might be a trick, but soon as they realized that the pig had truly changed, they came out running out of the house. They started playing games with him. First, they played Pig Pog and then Piggy in the Middle. And when they were all tired, they invited him in the house. And they offered him tea and strawberries and wolfberries and asked him to stay with them as long as he wanted. The pig accepted, and they all lived happily ever after. Aw, that's a sweet ending to that story. All right, we're going to be comparing and contrasting this story. So I have a page, it looks like this, in our reading packet. It's the one that has the little pig on the front. And then there was a page that looked like this, and I cut out just one of these sections. We don't need the rest of these. Those can be put away. And so I'm going to cut out these pictures, and we're going to look at them, and we need to figure out, were these pictures in the three little wolves and the big bad pig, or just the three little pigs story? Or were they in both? So go ahead and cut these out. You can pause the video so you can cut them out. And then we're going to look at each of the pictures, and we're going to figure out, was it in this story? Was it in this story? All right. So let's first look at the drill. Which story was the drill in? It was in this story. He used the drill to break apart the home. Was there a drill in this story? No, there wasn't. just in the Big Bad Pig. All right, this is a wolf. Was there a wolf in this story? Yes, there was. Was there a wolf in this story? Yes, there was. So that means there was a wolf in both of the stories. All right, what about sticks? Was there sticks in this story? Now, there was kind of sticks in the story at the end, but we really only saw the sticks in this story. They didn't really do much with sticks. They did more with flowers in this story. So we're going to put that one on the Three Little Pigs side. All right, what about a kangaroo? Was a kangaroo in this story? No, it was not. Was it in this story? Yes, it was the first animal that gave them bricks. All right, what about a flower house? Was a flower house in this story? No. Was it in this story? Yes, it was. All right, what about a chimney? Was a chimney in this story? No, there wasn't a chimney. Was there a chimney in this one? Yes, there was. All right, what about pigs? Was there a pig in this story? Yes, there was. Were there pigs in this story? Yes. So that means there were pigs in both of the stories. All right, two more. A straw house. Was there a straw house in this story? No. How about this one? Yes, there was. That was the first little pig built a straw house. All right, last one. Was there a brick house in this story? Yes, that was the first house that they built in this story. How about this one? This was the last house they built. So it was in both. All right, we compared and contrasted these two stories and what was in this story, what was in this story, and what was in both. Go ahead and take a picture of this and post it onto Seesaw.